The time is 2 p.m. and I, Magnus would like to wish you all welcome to today's webinar on the subject Q1 Survival Guide. Let's give our friends who is on the way in a couple of minutes before we start. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this webinar on the subject Q1 Survival Guide. A few housekeeping rules before we start. We have 1 hour for this presentation, and I estimate the presentation will take around 30 to 40 minutes. And after that, I will open up for a Q&A if you have any questions along the way. Well, my name is Magnus Dahlberg, and I work as a business developer at Nosto. And briefly about Nosto, we are a global company within personalization of web shops. And we work with many large companies and brands, both in the Nordics, but also on a global level. Our main mission is to provide advanced logics in order to always be presenting relevant product recommendations, which gives every customer a unique shopping experience online. So enough about me and Nosto, and let's dive into today's subject, Q1 Survival. Well, the difference between sales in December and January is huge, with a drop of almost 40% in terms of revenue. And in February, revenue sits somewhere between 20% less than the average of the whole year. So this is, of course, a period when all means to increase revenue is welcome. Today's presentation will be about this topic, and hopefully I will give you a couple of valuable tips on how you can get a more profitable and successful first quarter. I would like to present to you today 10 specific areas which touches this problematic time of the year, where I think you as a merchant can turn Q1 into success. So here's to turning adversity into opportunity. The first area I would like to touch is a high level of returns due to gift-driven sales in December, which basically means that Christmas presents which are returned becomes a problem and not a profit. And for some reason, it gets harder to sell these products, and in the end, it costs you a lot of money. Of course, this is a time for you where it's a little bit easier in your store to be proactive and see this time as a perfect opportunity to look over your line of products. By reducing returns by 1%, you will increase your net profit by 1%, and that pretty much goes without saying. And as many of you probably know, often stands 7% of the products for almost 50% of all returns. So this period is a great moment to look over your products and draw the learnings for coming peak periods. And a merchant, M & Company, which is a Scottish chain store, who sells clothes and homeware products, they saved £415 just by identifying 10% of frequently returned items and also removing them from their promotions. And one way to handle this issue is to be more clear in your product description to avoid misunderstanding and dissatisfaction in order to decrease returns. And Nosto has a merchant called Country Dreams, which does this really well. They have really clear descriptions and plenty of product pictures, just so there's no misunderstanding when an order is placed, which has been proven to be very successful. The second area I would like to touch is the excess of old stock that is no longer of priority for shoppers. There's too many products which it's hard to sell, basically. So here we can work with flash sales, and probably some of you are already doing this, but having a flash sale is creating a sense of urgency for your customers with really thoughtful flash sales in order for them to act fast. And this is an enormous benefit that January have, because it gives you the opportunity to prolong the seasonal sales and also give your customer the sale that they have been waiting for. And a flash sale doesn't only create enthusiasm, it also creates an excitement for your customer. You want the customers to feel like it's now or never, because tomorrow the deal is gone and it's too late. So this, of course, gives you a satisfied bargain shopper, but it also has been shown to generate a 35% lift in transaction rate. And as a icing on the cake, you clear your stock in the process. And one merchant who does this really fantastically is Cali Roots. They have awesome results, and they have chosen to have their flash sales as a center focus on their site. So when you come into Cali Roots, you can't miss the opportunity to make a really good bargain. And Cali Roots is a merchant who often are creative with their way of working, and I think they are a perfect example on how you can drive a flash sales onward. But with everything, there's a couple of things that you should consider if you're going to do a flash sale, and one of them is, of course, the length of the sale. It's very important not to have too long time periods for the flash offers. Often 2 to 3 hours are proven to generate more rather than a longer period. And of course, you should also communicate this well on your social pages and newsletters, so you give your customers the tools to act fast once the deal is on. A couple of other things you need to consider is the timing. I've seen some merchants who does one new offer every hour, and could be effective at some point, but a more infrequent flash sales has been shown to be more effective. And also, when it comes to timing, having flash sales in the evening gives you a higher transaction rate than if you do it during the day, because people might be at work, or they are at school, or they have other things to do. So evening is probably the best time to do this kind of sales. And of course, preparation. Some of you are probably a large merchant who have a lot of traffic already. Doing this will most certainly give a spike in traffic. So let me advise you to load test your site before launching it, because you don't want to be crashing when you are having such a campaign. Lower margins caused by discounting stock. Well, pretty much that means that when you lower your prices, you cut in your margins, and you need to be smart so you don't lose too much revenue in the process. And I can bet my right arm that none of you want to lose too much revenue when it comes to sales. And how can we do this? Well, on-site recommendations. You can easily make increases in your average order value through automated personalized recommendations and upselling, cross-selling, and browse history related recommendations, which I will cover in a little moment. We know that recommendations which are tailored and relevant is more appealing and leads to an increase in conversion. So the trick here is to give a unique experience for every customer who visits your store. But you can also be a little bit smart, so you filter your recommendations so the products that gives you the most bang for the buck is the first thing the customer sees. And a perfect example of a merchant who does this really well to keep their customers all the way through the sales funnel is Boomerang Store. They have different kind of look and feel depending on if you're a returning customer or if you're a new customer. So if you're into personalized recommendations, I would recommend you to have a look at Boomerang and get some inspiration on how they do it. Another area is upselling recommendations. An upsell is a typical example where you want to persuade a shopper to spend a little bit more money than they initially planned. And one way of a perfect upsell opportunity is to put together a tasteful package where you bundle 2-3 products and then put a price tag on it to make it seem like a super awesome offer. And in this way, you avoid to cut the margins on every product, and it will be more profitable for you than if, for example, you were to have single sales items. And currently, there's a merchant, Twilfit, who's doing this, where they are selling bras, 2 for $2.99, when one costs $179, and this for women, for some women at least, seems like a really super sweet deal. Another merchant who does this really well at the moment is Hemtex. They sell everything you can ask for your home, and at this very moment they are selling 2 sheets for $4.99 when the regular price for one is $3.99. So you create a sense of saving a lot of money and getting more and keeping most of your margins along the way. The third recommendation block I would like to talk about is a cross-selling recommendation. And this doesn't drive as much revenue, but it goes a little bit a long way. And the trick here is to go to yourself, have a look at your own line of products and get to know it, and so you know how you can show complementary products with the products that the customer is viewing. For example, Eton shirts, they are super good at this, and in this example, you're viewing a blue shirt, and as a complementary product here is we present the customer with a tie that goes really well with that shirt. If you're selling shoes, then a cross-sell could be you buy a pair of sneakers, and a perfect upsell here is to present shoe care or shoe polish or something that goes in the line of the product. And of course, you should always remind your customer what they have been engaged with but in the past, but not yet put in their cart. It makes it more difficult for customer to forget or leave behind items that they were interested in, and naturally it puts you in the driver's seat to get them to spend more money. And this is not revolutionized, but this could be the tipping point of increasing your revenue. The fourth area I would like to cover is a high number of abandoning shoppers. Well, many customers might be visiting your store, but for some reason doesn't finish a purchase. And this, of course, can be both frustrating and troublesome. And what can you do to make them purchase? Pop-ups in all its glory. And I know the word pop-up probably send many of you shivers down your spine, and the hair is probably standing up on your arms, and you're thinking, Magnus, what are you talking about? And I know if it's done wrong, it will most certainly destroy the whole shopping experience in your shop. So the thing that is important to take with you when you're using pop-ups is when should it be triggered and with what message. And a Nosto customer, Great Days, they increased their conversion by 60% and also gave an increase of average order value for 18%. And this is all because of pop-ups. They do it super smooth, and it doesn't really bother the customers' buying behavior. It's just there as a nice little treat. And there's several different kind of pop-ups which I'm going to cover. And the first one is discount pop-ups. It could be triggered either when a customer is about to leave without finishing a purchase, or when the customer shows interest in a certain category. And you might not want to give a discount to everyone because that will in the end cost you more than it would actually taste. So with simple rules, a pop-up can be triggered. For example, when the cart has a certain minimal value or a specific amount of products, you decide when you feel like it's worth for you to trigger a discount product, and make it a little bit tricky for the customer as well, so they don't know why they are struck by a nice discount. A pop-up can also be triggered when a customer shows an interest in a specific product. And this is a perfect way to give an offer on products which you might have on overstock and just want to get rid of, but also a great way for the customer to rethink on finishing the purchase. So if I'm hesitating, a small little offer on your next order could just be the tipping point for actually going and buying the product at hand. Another really great pop-up is the abandoned cart pop-up. And abandoned cart pop-up is basically aimed towards the customers who are already engaged and find a really huge interest in your products, but for some reason they might not be ready to finish the purchase. For example, it could be that I'm buying something for my wife and I'm not really sure if that's exactly what she wants. And then it's a great opportunity for you as a merchant to ask for my email in exchange of me sending the cart. And having that mail in your inbox, which you have actually agreed upon, makes it more likely for me to return and finish my purchase. And here I would really like you to have a look at 11.se, because they do this really nice. It kind of makes me want to continue my shopping trip and actually finish the purchase, but they do it really discreetly and with a lot of class. So if you do it correctly, you will gain a lot from an abandoned cart pop-up. Standing out above the noise. Well, what does that mean? Unless you're trying to scream in a crowd. Well, you must remember that there are many merchants who are fighting for the same customer and revenue as you, and you need to cut through that noise. And 52% of people said that they felt overwhelmed by numbers of bargains that were sent to them on a daily basis. And over half of those emails are promotional emails. And they are totally static. They are towards everyone, and there's no personal flares into this. And how can we work around this to actually cut through that pile of offers? With personalized newsletters. We at Nosto, we have seen that personalized triggered emails have an average click-through rate of 10 times higher than the industry standard. Maybe it doesn't sound much for some of you, but that's really great numbers, because getting an email that is aimed directly to you is more relevant, and I want to have a look at it, even if I don't finish my purchase. So what you want to do, you want to make every subscriber feel seen and unique, and by walking the extra mile for them. So to stand out through the noise of a jungle of offers sent via email, it's important to think of the content and the message in your email. It could be just as simple as inserting their name in the subject line, and when they open it, to say, "Hi, Magnus, nice to get in touch with you," and then of course offer something that is relevant, which I have been showing interested in the past. And there's different approaches, of course, on how you can work with this. And it's pretty much personal recommendations in a newsletter. So either you will just basically friendly remind them on what they have been browsing on in the past, Or if you have been browsing and you have been buying something, maybe you want to show some relevant products based on what they looked at previously. For example, I bought a guitar. A perfect example here would be, how about buying a guitar case for that specific guitar? Or you can personalize a top list where you highlight the top products in your store. And of course, you should order in your recommendations accordingly to every customer's previous buying behavior and browsing behavior, of course. So feel free to actually mix and match the way you want. Sometimes you can just go all in and do the whole shebang, or you could go with one simple personalized feature. And two merchants who does this super good is Wakaku, for example. The content doesn't really say much, so they have placed as a central focus in the newsletter the recommendations. The whole trick or treat here is just to get the customer into the store and make a purchase. Or you can take the take as Björn Borg does it. They are showing a top list where they're highlighting bestsellers, both for men and women, to make sure that they are covering both sexes and the whole scope of customers, which is super clever. Low customer retention caused by sale-driven buyers. Well, then you have to start to think to yourself, how can I be keeping a customer who bought something when the only bait that they took was a sale? It's super hard if you have a new customer coming into your store just because you have really, really cheap prices. So you want to transform these customers into to become loyal customers, so they can come back and continue buying from you. And how can you do this when they came in for low prices? Well, through personalized triggered emails. A personalized triggered email is optimized, personal, and a self-playing piano. And there's a couple of different types of triggered emails, and I know that several of you probably already use this, but a classic one, we miss you email. The "We miss you" email is a great way to remind these customers that you have wonderful news and awesome products in the store for them to buy. And here you can set up a time lapse. You might not want to send a "We miss you" email after 5 days. You might want to wait 15 days just so it gets kind of more relevant to come back and buy something from you. And you can base these recommendations on their browsing and shopping behavior that they had in the past, so it feels that you actually know what the person wants. Another one is order follow-up emails. Of course, this is a fantastic way for you to show that the customers that you really care for the last purchase, and not only does it give an impression that you're giving them awesome customer support, it also gives you the opportunity to suggest complementary products. And as a result of that, of course, there's a big chance that they will come back and become a loyal customer. The seventh area, acquiring new customers in a period when shoppers aren't as active. Well, that's the lack of people that we're talking about here, and that's probably the biggest problem of Q1. So what can you do? Well, you need to ask yourself, where are your customers? Because we all know several hours a day are spent in social media, which is totally crazy. Some people spend hours on end just browsing around, looking at people's posts. So this is a perfect timing to start a retargeting campaign towards these people based on previous behavior. And I can just speak for myself, but a personalized ad is proven to be more engaging. It's more thrilling, and of course, I will be more likely to remember the ads if it's something that is personalized for me, compared to static ads. The dynamic ads performance improvement is up to 400%, which is really saying a lot here. And at Nosto, and probably colleagues in my field of business, we have a couple of smart, dynamic, and optimized ads for Facebook. And it's kind of hard to know exactly what to push in social media. So, for example, if you want to attract new customers, you don't know anything, you don't hardly know who the people are that you are targeting. A perfect way would be bestseller ads or a lookalike ad, where you actually in real time are highlighting trending items in your store at this very moment, and also trying to find twin profiles if you're doing a lookalike ad, for example. For those who have visited your shop and haven't really bought anything, but they at least been friendly enough to drop you a visit, you could do a personal engagement ad, and this is just how it sounds like. Have them to come back to your store, give them another try, see if you can offer them some products that you actually think that they're interested of based on how they were browsing around your web shop earlier. Or an abandoned cart recovery ad, which is people who has shown an interest in your products but hasn't checked out their cart. So these segments of people are definitely someone who is on the hook, and you just have to lure them in and seal the deal. Or post-purchase ad. People who bought something, great. They are already thinking of you. They have already gave you so much, and they have gotten something. Why not send out ads that is directed towards them with products which you think is relevant for them? There's a strong chance that they will come back and at least have a look, and hopefully also make a purchase. And once again, I know I've been talking about them quite a lot, but Eton shirts is a real sunshine story, because they have gotten 11 times return on ad spent on personal re-engagement ad, and amazingly, they also got 19 times return on ad spent on abandoned cart recovery ad. And imagine spending one krone or €1 and you get 19 back. That's a super great result for an ad of this sort. Well, problem 8: low traffic contributing to low revenue. Well, no visitors, no money. That's very sad. So what can we do? Here we need to actually think a little bit outside the box and see how we can get our name out there and get your customers to engaged in a clever way in social media, for example. Kind of discreetly promoting your brand and encourage interaction with your brand, and at the same time presenting items that you have in stock to interesting customers. And how can you do this? Well, you can have a photo or a video contest. You have the followers, so this is a perfect way for you to have your customers to promote your brand for you. Create a really creative hashtag which is connected to your store and your brand. And as a little side note, to qualify into the competition, of course, you should have one or two products in the photo or video, depending on which trail you're having. Another way is social shares. And well, you have your customers to like or share your post in order to win the products that is in the post, and this gives a positive spread in every customer's social network, and your brand will be seen by new potential customers. Could be customers that didn't even know about your brand, but being referred from a friend who has already interacted with your brand makes it more interesting. And for the customer who makes the share, it also creates a deeper engagement in your business. They feel like they are a part of something, and they are doing something together with you, which can be fun, but also it could be inspirational for others. Well, the problem 9, taking advantage of this natural lull to build your brand. Well, it is a natural low season, and of course, this is not something new. But what else could you do to actually strengthen your position for the coming year? And one of them is to start a blog. Not only does it drive customers to your store, it also improves your CEO. And here you can be the storyteller of your brand, product, or industry, and you can craft the stories the way you want to. You can craft the stories around the brand or around the products to help you to convert visitors. But one thing that is very important here is to be very relevant and not to brag, but to just speak kind of like from a third person to make it sound more alive. And of course, there's several different kind of blog types that you could use, and one of them is have a behind the scenes blog. Why not take your customers behind the scene? You show how the products are made and from what material and what kind of, if it's a fair trade product, if you make furnitures, for example, or if it's a eco product or whatever. Just give them an insight to your business and your day-to-day work. This way, people can identify themselves probably more with your product, as well as you get the name out there, and people get in general more interested in your business. Or share the company vision. Meet the founders is a something that is becoming more and more usual, and this is a way to actually share the company vision and meet the people behind the company. It's very personal. It feels like the persons that you are reading about are your best friends, and of course you want to do business with them, and also it shows that you're not just a company who wants revenue. You are humans who are doing something good every day in order for every customer to get their satisfaction. Or you can just have an editorial blog where you write interesting articles and have your products to be mentioned as a side note in those articles. And one perfectly good example is Topshop. They made an interview with this social media superstar Anis Geller about her Christmas wish list, and of course in that list were a number of items from Topshop. It's always nice to hear from a third party what they want, and if your brand is one of them, then people will get inspired and people will in the end be more eager to actually buy those products. And the last area I would like to cover today is converting shoppers into long-term sales. And this is probably not anything new at all, and many of you already probably have this in store, but I still want to mention this, and this is to create a loyalty program where people subscribe to your newsletters and get special offers and giveaways. And having a giveaway in a loyalty program is a perfect way for you to actually give away products which is hard to sell and you have a huge overstock with. So if you don't have a loyalty program, I would strongly suggest that just set it up and see what happens. And that's actually the last slide I have. So if you have any questions that you want me to actually address, then there's a chat function. So if you have any questions, I would be glad to just answer them for you. So no questions. That's great stuff. Crystal clear. Well, if there's anything, if you want to find out more or have a chat, of course, you can always contact me either through email or drop me a call, and let's have a talk about how we can drive your Q1 into a successful one. So I would like to take this opportunity and thank you very much for joining me today, and hopefully we will talk soon, and have a fantastic first quarter. Cheers.